What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever. We're excited. It's the pilot episode for our podcast called
Skeet skeet.
The Nice Guys Podcast. I am one half of your host, Tybo PD99, Ty
The nice
Breezy,
guys.
the Nice Guys, and I got my
Hockey.
I got my co-host here, the enthusiastic, the handsome son of a gun he is, and his name is
Duper. Hey, baby. Go
Duper.
Penguins.
Go Penguins. Go Green.
Actually, that leads me into our first topic for today.
Oh my god.
What the fuck is Ron Hextall doing
Dude, Ron Axtell was
as
shitting
the
the bed.
general manager of the Penguins?
Shitting the bed. That's what he's doing.
You trade Teddy Bluger, our best top six or bottom six player. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Sorry about it.
So I ain't sorry.
And
Bud.
and then we go and trade for a 31-year-old guy who has 9 goals, 36 points this year. He's 31 years old. He's signed for 4 more years at $5 million average.
You hate to see that. You really do.
$5 million the next 4 years.
For real. Hate that.
What do you think about that?
You know, listen, man, I really, like, dad life's been rocking my world, brother. I ain't had a chance to really watch any of the games. You know, I followed last season, ended in heartbreak for us, but, you know, I haven't really had a chance to follow this season as closely as I was hoping I could.
Yeah, and you bring up last season and how that was a heartbreaking end. And you know, who ended our season last year? You want to remind me again?
You know, I honestly don't know. I really don't. Wasn't it Philadelphia in the first round?
What?
Wasn't it Phillies? Didn't we play? The
No,
Flyers.
it was the Rangers.
Okay,
and
the Rangers.
and the Rangers, the Rangers are making moves that I think every Rangers fan is probably happy with. They got. I know you'll know these guys: Vladdy Tarasenko,
Gotta love Tarasenko.
Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane?
Gotta love Kane.
Are you kidding me?
Kidding. I heard he got into some legal stuff back in the day too. But we gotta for
Hey,
the sake
I
of
mean-
for the sake of licensing and things of that nature, we gotta stay out of that. So
Yeah, I don't really have a comment on that because I think when all that was going down, I was sitting in my room playing video games about 13 hours a day on average. So
on average.
I didn't really care about anything else. But
Hey,
Yeah.
so Duper, why don't you go ahead and tell the people that are tuning in right now and tell them about yourself, man. Tell them, you know, just tell them what you're about, man. Tell them what you
Yeah,
got going on
man.
right now.
Don't really get into a lot, honestly. I just, I have a very small circle, very small, tight circle.
Absolutely.
In college, unfortunately, chose to go that route.
What do you major in, bro?
Computer information systems. It's a business degree.
Okay.
I'm looking to get into software development. I think that'd be cool. Originally, I wanted to get into CS, be a CS major, and get into cybersecurity, but there's so much math involved with that major, and I'm a little bit illiterate when it comes to math, so I can't. I mean, I'd be taking a math class almost every semester, and I'd just get
Yeah.
destroyed by that. So
I'm telling you, bro. When I was back in college and in school and stuff, and man, I was fortunate enough to just kind of do the basics to get through with the. You know, I think they're called the general electives that you have to kind of take to get the credits to
Yeah.
graduate. And man, I despise math. I've always hated math though. Growing up, man, I was never good at it, and so. I mean, I was fortunate enough to get good grades in it and all that, but you know, it just wasn't my strong suit. I'm a big history guy. That's what I like and I look forward to.
yeah, no, me too. Um, I'm not good at math, and unfortunately, I'm interested in computers, which is a lot of math.
So with that major, man, like what are you looking to do? How are you looking to apply it, like into to what you want to
I
do for a job?
Yeah, like I said, I'd like to get into software development. That just
Software
I don't
development.
I have zero background in that. It just sounds kind of interesting to me. There's also like network administrators, which is, I mean, that'd be a little bit more laid back, just kind of like a boring job, but um, there's a lot that I can do with it. But like I said, I think software development is the biggest one I want to get into.
Okay, so like for someone like me who has no idea what that would be, is that like I mean literally what it says, like you're developing different softwares for programs on computers, or is that like kind of fine tuning what's already out there? or a little bit of both?
Um, I mean, it could it is both because you can, like it says, like you can make your own software. You can develop your own programs. Which really, if you make a really good software and you own that, I mean, let's not be stupid. That's where the money is, right?
I
Like
mean,
you
yeah,
you make a
somebody's
good
looking to
ass
buy
stuff.
it off you, right? Like a company
Yeah,
would look to come to
but
you to buy that.
also software development. I mean, you can maintain applications that a firm may already be using
Okay,
or even improve on them. So,
got you. Now, with that, when it goes to when it pertains to getting into the field of something like that, is it like you have to interview with a firm for that, or is that kind of like you're on your own and it's just up to you to kind of do what you need to do to get people interested in your product?
yeah, I mean, I'm sure that again, I think you could do either. I think you can kind of work on your own thing.
Hmm.
But the route that I would take is apply to work in a company, a successful company already, and
Okay.
then probably work on something on the side,
Okay. Okay. So you
on the
got.
on the on the down Lizzo. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I got you. Shout out Lizzo.
Uh, I got a couple questions for you actually.
Okay. All right, brother. Shoot.
Kind of just give a I don't know how much you can say exactly,
Right. Right.
because you are kind of like a Fed, but yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead and talk a little bit about your job that you're in right now.
Yeah, man. So just to give a little bit of a background, man. Grew up same town as Duper here, man. We grew up together. It's my family. I consider him more of a brother than he is a cousin. And I left Ohio, man. Went to Indiana. Tried my hand in law enforcement out there. Kind of didn't work out. Just different style of living out there, man. Big city. I grew up in a small town. People that know us from the Ohio Valley know what Ohio Valley is compared to a big city like Pittsburgh or something of that nature. Um, but nonetheless, man, just tried the law enforcement route. Didn't really work out for me. Spent about 5 years dedicating my life to helping at-risk youth, man, get their life on track. A lot of kids come from the system, both criminally and through DCS or CPS, where they were taken out of their homes and just not provided a good opportunity in life, man. And just really kind of took the time to mentor that youth population to do the right thing moving forward. And then, man, after 4 years in Indiana, which I thought would never end, I hated Indiana, unfortunately. To anybody
Hmm.
that's from Indiana watching, I'm sorry it sucked. It was a terrible place. But I moved to West Virginia. You can see the flag behind me. I rep the 304 with pride and tried my hand at law enforcement again on the county side as opposed to the city. And man, I just it worked out, but had some personal reasons for stepping away from that field. And to those I'm sure that see on Facebook or social media know that I'm a dad. I got a son who's 1 year old, and just try to dedicate as much time as I can to being with him, watching him grow. And you know, I was fortunate. I was blessed with the job prior to the one I'm at now. I was selling cars for a while, and it was a tough market with COVID and the way that the economy was working. And so I made it. I made do. I had luck in it for a couple months, and I'm very blessed with the job that I have now. I work with an organization through the state, and just ties into all crimes related to alcohol and enforcement related to alcohol. So, yeah, I mean, not to get into too much detail, but honestly, to be truthful with you, I'm like a glorified alcohol inspector. I go into places and make sure that they're following all the rules that they need to follow, and the job's got some side gigs to it that's it's really cool. But for the sake of personal safety and security, won't get into that. But yeah, man, I'm just enjoying the life now. It's a gig that I can make my own schedule, so I've got the freedom to kind of just come and go as I please when I want to work, and as long as I get things done, and it's great, man. I can't complain.
Yeah, no, I feel it, and obviously have a lot of respect for your position. Do not support underage drinking at all.
Hey,
I've,
hey, we all been there. What can I say? We've been there.
I think that's one of the biggest issues in today in society, and we need
Man.
to stop that, cut that out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out JL3. I mean, shout him
JL3.
out.
Hey, listen, maybe one day he'll be on this podcast. JL3, for tuning in, brother. We got to get you on the
Big
podcast.
fans,
Got
big
to. We
fans,
got to talk.
JL3.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, dude. Question. Gonna piggyback off of some of the background info that we were talking about. So you said that you're in college right now. What year are you in, man?
Um, I am in my fourth semester. I'm technically a sophomore.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
with my major, I just declared my major because I came in as a CS major and then went undecided.
What's this? What's a
Um,
CS major?
computer science,
Oh, okay.
computer
Okay.
science, and
Okay.
then I was undecided after my first semester. And then my second semester, my third semester, I was also undecided. And then at the end of my third semester, right before Christmas break, I declared computer information systems.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit behind in there. I am taking two classes this summer though to kind of stay on track and catch
Yeah.
up a little bit. So
I was gonna ask if you're gonna try to take some classes this summer to kind of get yourself back
yeah,
squared
I'm
away.
taking 2 3 credit classes. They're online. They shouldn't be too difficult. No math class or anything. So
Okay. Good deal, man. Good deal. So honestly, man, and you know a little bit of background for me, man. I went to a local community college back home where we're from, man, and was fortunate enough to get a degree. I got an associate's degree, and then was really, like I said, geared towards the law enforcement route. So I was able to take a pathway to a criminal justice degree slash OPATA, which is the certification for police officers in the state of Ohio. So um, haven't really had that college experience. I use that lightly, you know, because everybody's college experience is different. But had a lot of buddies that went to WVU, so I spent a lot of time in Morgantown and having fun with them, doing certain things. And so, like, honestly, man, how's your college experience been, man? I think like people have in their head what they want college to be, what they expect it to be when they get there. You being a second year, technically sophomore, you know, how's the first, you know, 4 semesters been for you?
yeah, I mean, um, my first semester it was definitely I think the college experience that everyone kind of thinks what college is going to be like when you get there. A lot of extracurriculars going on. Not necessarily focusing on the right things.
Right.
Um, but your first semester is tough. There's a big adjustment.
When you say
Um,
big adjustment, do you mean like adjusting to the classes and the workload as a first semester student, or do you mean like just kind of like that social setting where
I
you have to
mean,
kind of branch out and try to find your identity that way?
yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I think being away from home, because I mean, up to this point, you've lived at home for 18 years.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you only know living at home, and obviously the workload and everything. I mean, uh, you're working for a degree to go make big boy money, so uh, classes are going to be harder. Workload is going to be a lot more. There's a lot more that you have to do on your own outside of the classroom.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not all about the classroom. You have to be disciplined enough to be able to go and teach yourself things and do your homework. Um, and then there's a social adjustment too. I don't really get out a lot. It's never really been my scene to go out and do, party. I like to just, like I said, I keep a small circle.
Right. Right.
Um, so I definitely got out a little bit my first semester, but even then, I mean, it was just a couple people in a dorm room. I never went out and got anything crazy, but
So you didn't
the bit,
necessarily kind of try to intertwine yourself with a fraternity, right?
no, no, absolutely not. I mean, that's probably a discussion for another day because I could talk about fraternities probably for an hour and a half.
Right. Right. Understand.
And the type of people that get mixed in with those. But I think the biggest takeaway from my first semester, uh, kind of just struggling to adjust and not spending my energy in the best ways for me.
Right. Right.
Um,
On it.
obviously, my first semester, I met my girlfriend, so
Right.
um,
right.
probably one of the only positives out of that. But
Oh,
um,
and I think honestly, man, she's a great girl, man. She's really held you down and really got you back on track
yeah, for sure.
from those things. So, but you know, with the roommate situation, how did you find that for you? Like, did you have somebody that you went with already, or was it kind of like determined by the school when you went?
So I chose to room with somebody I knew,
Mm-hmm.
and I think in some cases it can work. I think you have to have a special connection or relationship with that person.
Right, right.
If it's just somebody that you know and you're just rooming with them because you know them, it may not be the best route.
Okay.
Um, because you're living in one room, you're living in like a bedroom with one other person.
Right, right,
So you got to make sure that you're going to be willing to uh, kind of put up with that person and then put up with your shit too. So,
right. No, I feel
um,
that. I feel that. Yeah, and you
yeah.
know, honestly, man, I think that's a big adjustment for anybody, man. Like even me, like you know, speaking from the standpoint of you know being married. You know, my first year of marriage was a big adjustment. You know, living together was a struggle because you know, um, I obviously you have similarities with the person that you're gonna decide you're gonna live with, right? But you know, you have differences as well, and it's kind of finding that good balance between the two and making it work. And you know, and the biggest thing too is a lot of people sometimes really can't do that give and take thing. You know, like some things you really hone in on and you really like are great and everything, but you have to be willing to maybe dial that back or be willing to do new experiences with another person. And sometimes if somebody's not, you know, not willing to stretch or do what they need to make that work, then obviously I think that can cause some turmoil or you know it's just you know one of those other things I think you have to hurdle over when you get to college. You know, so
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It definitely is a give and take situation.
right, right.
Um,
How did you
but
find? How did you find not to cut you off? But how did you find the independence when you went away to school? Like, I mean, I know when I moved away, it wasn't to school. It was to Indiana, like 4.5 hours away from my hometown, with no family other than my girlfriend slash fiance now wife. But at the time, you know, it's just that's the only person I went with that I knew. So for me, that was kind of an extreme case, you know, not being so close in a university with other people. But like, how did you find with the independence of being on your own? How that adjustment process look for you?
yeah, I mean, um, personally, I've wanted to get out of my house for a long time, and I always thought that, um, once I got out, that not necessarily that I would be happier, but just that um, I would kind of enjoy it more.
Right.
But then once you get here, it's kind of like, oh shit, like I am on my own, and it kind of kicks you in the face a little bit, and it definitely beat me up my first semester, being away from home.
Right.
Because like I said earlier, you're living at home. I was living at home for 18 years before, and then I just get thrown out. Not that I was super far away from home, but I'm just sitting in this little room with a person I really don't like, and um,
Necessarily didn't
yeah,
gel well with you know.
yeah, and it's not like I had anyone to really talk to, so it's rough. It definitely is rough adjusting.
Right.
But I mean, now being independent is nice, and that's something that like I said, I really wanted. But um,
Right. Do you find now? Let's just say we're gonna say a year later from the point in time where I think that you kind of felt that way. Do you feel that now it's a whole different adjustment and you have a different outlook on it from that growth for over the last year?
yeah, I definitely do. I mean, it's obviously not as hard as it was.
Right.
Um, there's still times where it's like, not necessarily that I want to go back home, but it's like I'm just kind of ready to get out of where I'm at now, because I'm kind of just I have to be here to, yeah, because I'm working to get my degree.
Right. To better yourself.
Um, but I'm ready to get to the next place, but I also, um, I'm trying to enjoy where I am and kind of take in where I am.
What do you when you say the next place? Do you mean like the next step, like next year of college, or do you mean like after college, kind of like the first steps of really having that independence of being out of school, not being a student anymore, going into the workforce?
I think I'm more focused on like after college.
Okay.
Uh,
What's the plans, man? What's the plans? What's it look like for you?
yeah, well, me and my girlfriend, obviously, we want to kind of stay up this way a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, Potentially like the Browns territory, kind of work there in that city.
Nice, big Cleveland.
Um, yeah, unfortunately, that's where I chose to go to school. So,
Right, right,
uh, but yeah, kind of work around there. I kind of want to stay in Ohio to be close to the family.
right,
Um, don't want to be super far from everybody. Don't want to like go out to the middle of nowhere and just be away from everyone. So,
right. Absolutely, absolutely, man. No, I definitely understand that, dude. And man, it's crazy because I think people get so caught up in living in the moment right now that sometimes they can be blind, and on the flip side of that, somebody could be looking so far into the future that they're not enjoying what's right in front of them at the middle.
yeah,
So I think that's also, I would say, probably would be the biggest thing to kind of try to balance between the two, in college. So I mean, you got those people that party, man, and party hard, and maybe neglect the duties that they need to because they haven't had that independence, from home, and they don't know how to carry that load. Um, and then you've
big
got
load.
people, yeah, and you've got people that really, hone in on the schoolwork, the aspect of what they need to do, that they look back 4 years later or 8 years later or whatever, however long it takes them to get their specific degree. But they're like, man, I missed out on opportunities that were going to be fun and good social events, that because I was so dedicated. But it's all about finding what fits your needs and doing what you want to do that makes you happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I feel that. I feel that. Personally, I identify with kind of looking into the future too much.
Hmm.
And I do struggle with just kind of focusing on the present moment. Um, Something I'm working on though, I guess. So,
Right. And I think that's an easy thing to do, man. I think people, in society, it's all about wanting to get to necessarily that next point, like, let's just say, because we have a good age group difference between our age, me being 27, you being 19, or what are you, 20, 20, sorry, 20. And so, like, the 7 year difference doesn't seem like that much, but holy shit, man, there's a lot of life that happens in between that, I think, in that stage. And so a lot of 20-year-olds find themselves, like, I think from 18 to 25, that's a big adjustment period, and a lot happens in a short amount of time. And then from 25 to like 30, it's like, a lot of people you see, well, they're starting their families, or they've got really good careers, and not just jobs but careers. And so those people that don't necessarily have that yet, um, and I relate to this. I just went through a lot of back and forth of, law enforcement didn't work out, so that was a big blow to me personally. And so I just, tried to balance of, not getting down on myself, but just kind of not getting lost in the mindset of, well, I'm 27 years old, and I don't have a career figured out, and I think I do
hmm
now with the gig I have. But I think it's the best thing I could tell anybody that's listening, man. I might be going through this and is struggling. Just take it day by day. I mean, and that's a cheesy, and you hear it all the time, but I mean, that's the truth. If you get up and you conquer the day, man, one day at a time, you're living in the moment, and the next thing you know, you'll be down the road 5 years, and you'll be like, wow, I just went through these opportunities and these things, and I think it helped mold me into what I needed to be in that particular time frame. So,
hmm
well,
For
Duper,
sure, for sure.
Duper, we're about ready to wrap it up here, my man. And like I said, the first episode, man, we didn't really want to make it too long, kind of just talking about some certain things, kind of like the intros, the background of where we're at personally for us. And you know to anyone listening, in the comments below, we're gonna post this out, and hopefully you guys will take the chance to listen to it. Give us some constructive criticism. Give us some feedback on what you'd like to see, what can be changed and improved to better the episode quality and the content that we provide to you every week. Um, Basically, what we're looking to do is we're looking to do this every week, probably Wednesday evenings, and then hopefully have the episodes out on Fridays for you. And you can send you into a weekend of, to kind of hopefully unwind and listen to us. And hopefully along the way, we're going to impact some people and really talk about topics that people want to hear about, and really just, hit home for a couple topics. And plan is to have a couple special guests from time to time, just talking about random things. And if you're interested in hopping on, we do it through, it's all remote. Like I said, Duper is up in Ohio. I'm in West Virginia, so we're not. Nobody's excluded of where they're at in the world at this present moment. So if that's something you guys are interested in doing, leave a comment below and let us know, and we'll definitely try to figure out and work that in. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to us. I hope you guys have enjoyed the content that we provided for this episode. And like I said, we look forward to moving forward in the future and, just providing some great content for you guys.
Yep.